I arrived at my property and nearly dropped my coffee. The sight before me was a nightmare. My land, 600 acres of pristine farmland in Greenfield County, was gone, flattened, destroyed. Heavy machinery sat idle, bulldozer tracks scarring the once fertile soil. A bright, obnoxious HOA banner flapped in the wind, proudly declaring, "Future site of Greenfield HOA Park and residential expansion." And there, in the middle of it all, clipboard in hand, stood Linda, the power-hungry HOA president. "Linda, what in the hell have you done?" I demanded, storming toward her. "Oh, haven't you heard? The HOA approved this land for development. The community voted. It'll be a wonderful expansion for Greenfield residents," she said with a smirk. I clenched my jaw. She had no idea who she was messing with. Linda's reign of terror had been building for months. Ever since she took over the HOA, she'd enforced absurd rules under the pretense of improving the neighborhood. At first, it was petty rules about mailbox colors and lawn ornaments. But her thirst for control only grew. Her first big move was banning farming near HOA properties. She claimed the smell and noise from my cattle and tractors disrupted her peaceful suburban experience. Never mind that my family had worked this land for generations, long before her sterile HOA neighborhood sprang up. That didn't matter to Linda. She wanted the countryside to bend to her suburban fantasy, even if it meant erasing history. Then came her HOA landscaping standard. Linda decided rural properties, outside her jurisdiction, needed to fit her vision of a picturesque community. She sent letters demanding we plant only approved flowers, calling native grasses and working farmland an eyesore. When folks ignored her, she issued fines. She even sent a cease and desist to an elderly couple growing sunflowers for 50 years, accusing them of visual pollution. But this? Bulldozing 600 acres of my farmland because she thought it was unclaimed? This was her biggest mistake. The next morning, I made some calls. By noon, the HOA board was at the site, grinning and planning their park. Linda stood in the center, soaking up their praise like she'd handed them paradise. Then came the rumble. Dust kicked up as a convoy of police cars, county vehicles, and legal reps rolled in, an unmistakable sign of trouble. Linda's smirk faded. She gripped her pink HOA folder as officers stepped out, their stern faces promising no mercy. A tall, no-nonsense officer approached, holding a stack of documents. "What's going on?" Linda snapped, flipping open her folder like it outranked the law. The officer ignored her and held up a paper. "Ma'am, this is a notice of unlawful land destruction and trespassing. You and the HOA have illegally bulldozed private property. That's absurd. This land was approved for community use." The HOA voted, she shot back. His tone turned cold. "This isn't just private property, ma'am. It belongs to the county, and the county belongs to this man right here." Linda went pale. Gasps spread through the HOA crowd. Some edged away from her, sensing the storm. I crossed my arms, letting it sink in. "That's right, Linda. I don't just own this farm. I own all of Greenfield County." Murmurs erupted. Board members who'd been joking moments ago now whispered excuses or fled outright. Linda's mouth flapped uselessly. This can't be. You can't own the county." "I can, and I do," I said. "You just destroyed county land without permission. That's a felony." The officer nodded. "The county's pressing charges. The HOA is liable for millions in damages." Linda spun, desperate for backup, but her board scattered like rats. Her folder hit the ground, pages fluttering away. "This isn't over," she shrieked. I chuckled. "Oh, it is." The fallout was spectacular. Linda tried everything: complaints, emergency meetings, even a doomed lawsuit. Nothing worked. At the hearing, she stormed in, arrogance blazing, wearing a blazer over her pink blouse, clutching that folder like a shield. The judge, a sharp-eyed older woman, barely looked up as Linda ranted, "Your Honor, this is overreach. The HOA was beautifying the community. This man's hoarding land." The judge sighed, removing her glasses. Ms. Linda Peterson, do you understand the charges? I was acting for the neighborhood. Linda stammered. My lawyer stood. Your Honor, Ms. Linda Peterson led an unauthorized destruction of 600 acres, privately owned and county-registered land. He handed over a thick file. The judge skimmed it, frowning. Linda's bravado cracked. The judge shook her head. Ms. Peterson, this is egregious. You had no authority and cost the county millions. Linda froze. The judge asked my lawyer, damages. Full restitution plus penalties for land seizure, $8.5 million. Silence. Linda's face went white. $8 million? We don't have that. The judge raised an eyebrow. Then enjoy bankruptcy, Ms. Peterson. You and the HOA are liable. Linda wheezed, turning to her board. We can fight this, right? They shook their heads. One muttered, we're voting you out. The judge's gavel fell. Rulings final. HOA pays all damages. The county seized HOA funds, and homeowners raged as fees soared to cover the rest. Residents demanded Linda's head at packed meetings. The board ousted her in an emergency vote. Broke and humiliated, Linda fled town, her name ruined. I restored my farmland and ensured no HOA would ever touch it again. Greenfield County flourished under my care, a free land spared from Linda's tyranny. My victory became legend, a tale of one man standing tall, armed with rights and the land beneath his feet.